Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. A few weeks ago I reviewed the Warhammer the Old World Roleplay Game Player's Guide, and now I've got my hands on the Gamemaster's Guide, so let's take a look at that one as well.
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description.
Now, if you don't know what Warhammer the Old World Roleplay Game is, now rather than me tell you here, go and check out the interview with Dom and Padraig from Cubicle 7. We talked before the game was released all about it, and also check out my review of the Player's Guide, which is the core and tells you what it's all about. But essentially, it's a roleplay game set in Warhammer the Old World, which is the new Warhammer fantasy setting by Games Workshop, the war game, the tabletop war game, and this is a roleplay game version of it made by Cubicle 7 on license. And the Old World is set in a slightly different era to the old Warhammer fantasy days before the end times, a couple of hundred years before, and that's kind of all you really need to know. And it's separate from the WFRP, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Game System, which Cubicle 7 also make and will continue to still make as well. I know that question comes up, so go and watch those two videos. They'll give you a more detailed idea around that. Now, the way Cubicle 7 work is you pre-order your books and they're not delivered till next year, but you get digital copies in the meantime of the Player's Guide and of the Gamemaster's Guide and a few other resources as well, maps and things. Now, I've pre-ordered quite a few different bits and I'm really excited to get my hands on the physical copies, but I've had my hands on the Player's Guide for a while via access to sort of an early review copy, and now I've got my proper copy since I pre-ordered. One thing you weren't able to get at pre-order time was the Gamemaster's Guide. It wasn't quite ready. So the time you're watching this, chances are it's already been made ready, and if you've already pre-ordered, you've had your link through Drive-Through RPG or directly through Cubicle 7. But if you haven't, you might be seeing some of this stuff for the first time or early, just before you get hold of it. But if you've pre-ordered, your own copy is going to be very, very soon after you've watched this video, I'm sure, and chances are you've already got it. I will pop a link to the pre-order in the video description. I'll try to remember to pop it in a pinned post as well. I may forget, but I will try and remember. But enough of all that. Let's have a bit of a quick overview of this game. And note, I have not played it. This is from reading it through and a perspective of a returning player, someone that's not played roleplay games for quite some time, but super excited about it, especially as it's my main love in hobbydom at the moment. Is that a word? It is now. My main love is Warhammer the Old World. So the book is 185 odd pages and it's broken down into sort of 7 distinct sections, but there are 3 main areas of the book which kind of guides the reader, or the Gamemaster in most cases, towards how to use the book. Those 3 main categories are essentially the Gamemaster's toolbox, which you have details around adventures in Talagard and how to adventure in Talagard, contacts, which is an important part of the game, how to run the game, and then you have Gamemaster rules, which covers the Player's Guide and downtime between events, corruption and magical items. And then you have a large section which is allies and antagonists, where all of your NPCs and creatures can be found. So let's take them all section by section. The Gamemaster's toolbox introduces Talagard in far greater detail than in the overview found in the Player's Guide. There's plenty of detail for GMs to build interesting narratives, places of important interest, and a smattering of characters to build those encounters and game narratives. It also includes 3 Grim Portents, which is a really important part of the way the Old World RPG works. And again, I direct you to that interview and to my review of the Player's Guide rather than getting down into the weeds on it here. But they are ways to start your characters on their journeys, and the 3 provided in this book are based around the locale of Talagad, which is the focus of this area of Talabekland for the start of this game. Obviously you can play this game anywhere you want in the Warhammer universe, but a lot of the influences and the directions and the theme of this book starts in this area, and it's the focus of the game at the start anyway of its new journey. After this are 20 contacts, and they're the contacts that are presented also in the player's guide. Much like the Grim Portents, they are all based in the location and the area of Talagad, and they are linked to sort of stories in around that area. And what they're there to do really is to help the games master guide the players. They are NPCs that the player's characters have known or have met along the way that can help get them back on track on an adventure, or help them out in a certain situation, or maybe start them off in a new path. And that whole importance and contact system is really important and integral really to the way this roleplay game works. And there's lots of nice detail around each of these contacts, names and pictures and bits of background, and some information about how the games master might roleplay them and interact with the characters themselves. The section entitled Being the Games Master does exactly what it says on the tin, and I guess for experienced roleplay games masters, a lot of what's in there won't be new to them. But also there are some extra rules and things as well that aren't included in the player's guide, just to add a little bit of sort of extra elements of surprise for the players, I guess. So while for experienced GMs it's just a guide there to sort of bend their knowledge, for newer games masters or returning games masters that maybe haven't played since the 1990s, then it's laid out in a way that guides you through how to be a games master in this game, teaches you a little bit about how to sort of engage with the characters, how to build your stories and your narratives, the difference really between the sort of sandbox style game and the direct style game. And there's loads and loads of really useful information in there. I think it's really clearly laid out and very easy to follow, and just so much information put in a very accessible way about how to deal with certain situations and threats and downtime and all the other things that go into running a big adventure or campaign for your players. I really like the section on dark threads, which builds you a very visual map in one instance of how plots and schemes and politics of the characters, the NPCs, the families of the given areas they're in may be interwoven and may interact with your player characters. And I think it's really interesting, quite visual, but can definitely lead to a much more realistic and absorbing game. But there are lots of other things in there to aid you as a games master, make your games and adventures much, much better. I'm not going to list them all here. I'll leave you to explore that yourself. After that, there are sections on corruption. It wouldn't be Warhammer if chaos wasn't involved somewhere along the line, and magic items, which are full descriptions and rules for acquisition of magic items, and also rules for the individual magic items themselves. Obviously you can come up with your own, but there's plenty in there to get started with and give you lots of inspiration about how to maybe create your own as well. The final section of the book is by far the biggest, more than half of it, around 100 pages or so, and it's the allies and antagonists. Here you have all of your NPCs and your creatures and a little bit around the areas in which they live. Lots of information on all different kinds of NPCs, but not just that, locations in detail as well. And not only Talabekland and Talagad, it expands to the wider empire now. And if you want to play games in different areas and duchies and provinces, you are able to. And with each of those sections, you get a little bit of background lore around that area, some of the famous families and some of the famous units for that area are presented as NPCs in those sections as well. As this is such a big section, I will leave it there and leave you to explore it by yourselves. But as you can imagine, there are many, many creatures and characters there, from the very, very smallest to the very, very largest, and many, many in between as well. But all of your favourites from your Warhammer fandoms are there. Everything you'd expect, I think. Now, all the pages I've shown you are from the draft copy. I'm trying not to show you too much because I don't want to disrespect Cubicle 7, who very kindly given me access to this by giving you away the whole book for free and flicking through, and that's why I've limited the amount I've shown. Go and support them and purchase the book if you're interested, and the books are beautiful. They're well worth the money. I'm very happy that I've pre-ordered mine and so excited for all the extra things I've pre-ordered as well, like maps and things. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on them next year. But there may also be changes from some of the things I've shown on the screen because it is a draft copy as well, so do bear that in mind. This isn't final. The final copies will what goes out to players themselves, and there may well be updates and changes to those PDFs. I think there was an update to my player's guide, and I've downloaded an updated one since it's been published on the pre-order as well, so there may be the odd change, the odd little things. If there is a mistake, we'll let them know, and they can fix it before these things go off to print, which is, you know, again, excellent. Overall, I am really pleased with the way the book is laid out and presented. As someone that's really genuinely not played roleplay games for so many years, I want to run some games, even if it's just for my family. The idea of doing it can be a little bit daunting, and the way these books are laid out and written is a huge difference to trying to tackle WFRP first edition as a teenager. This really tells you how to GM, and I love the way that it's laid out and worded. So the props to the team behind this, and I know a large number of people have been involved in writing this, but props to the team and the producers for setting it out in this way. That means that someone who's not a role-play gamer, definitely not a GM, can read this book and start to feel a little confident that I can have a good crack at running some games myself. I love all the detail on the locations and the characters. They're really nicely written, and it's a very enjoyable read. And if you're a tabletop war game player who loves the old world, that's looking at picking up these just to have a little bit more flavour and lore, if you're a fan of the Empire, you will definitely love what's in these now, and they are very Empire focused to start with. You will really enjoy the extra bit of lore and flavour that it gives to you. If you're into your lore and your narrative for your gaming, then these things are excellent. And if you're looking to do, like myself, some kind of bridge between tabletop wargame campaigns and narrative campaigns and a bit of RPG, again, I think there's plenty of tools and extra flavour in these books to add to all the stuff that Games Workshop is producing. Now, with this book and the Player's Guide, you can definitely run games of the Old World RPG. No problem at all, especially if you're an experienced GM. You'll have no issues working out how to construct a game. Now, as it stands, you are just looking obviously at the two PDF versions, and you'll be waiting for your books. I think the game will really grow once there is a starter set, and I know there's one on the way. And as a new player, there's still elements that I'm thinking, oh, I'd like a couple of maps here to get me started, as in maps of a city or a starter adventure or something, and that isn't here. There's lots of guidance about how to create it, but if you're new and you want something to copy to get you started, the kind of stuff you get in the starter set will be really useful as well. And we know that's on the way. I'm looking forward to reviewing that, and I will review it on the channel and bring information to you. But if you're confident and you want to get started, you can. The tools are there, and because of the system that Cubicle 7 do with this longer pre-order, and you get your hands on the rules straight away. Some people may want to hold off and wait for that starter set first, but if you're into your old world stuff, I would definitely get in there and pre-order some of the goodies. Now, I'm not sure if all of the bundles and things will be available all that much longer. You can definitely be able to get the books, I know that, but in terms of some of the maps and some of the extras, there's lots of cards and things which really help the new players out as well, because you've got stat cards on there. And again, I'm looking at getting some of those, because when I'm getting my younger son involved in it, I think using cards and things like that is nice and tangible, rather than just looking at screens and things all the time as well. So lots of good stuff to do. Really looking forward to a starter set, because I think that will make the connection with the brand new players even easier. But all in all, that's it. Thank you very much, Cubicle 7, for allowing me to have early access to these. I've really enjoyed reading these through and getting even more excited about Warhammer the Old World, and I'm just really excited to see all the stuff that comes out for this. There's going to be supplements, there's going to be adventures, there's going to be this starter set as well, so lots more resources on the way. And you can also dip into a lot of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition resources as well. Sometimes there will be things that are different because of timeline, but if you want to do dwarves or something, or high elves, you can look at those books because those cultures don't change quite as much. There might be the odd city guide that would be different, but again, you bend it to work the way you want to. But there are lots of resources already out there if you want to sort of adventure outside of the Empire and Talagad at this point in time. But really exciting moving forward. And I will definitely be covering more on the channel. I really want to get Dom and Padraig back on and talk all about how to link this game to the tabletop war game and how you can link campaigns. I know that's something they are interested in talking about, and a few of you have requested. So I'm going to go ahead now that this second half of the review, now we have the Gamemaster's Guide, now that things are settling down and the pre-orders are fully go, I'll see if they've got a bit more time and maybe we can get them back on towards the end of the summer, early autumn, and have a good chat about that. And I'm hopefully going to be trying this game very soon as a player in an off-camera game run by Jordan Sorcery, and then maybe Jordan and I will end up talking about it, whether it's as a guest on his channel or him coming to this channel. Once I've played it, I will talk about it at some point, whether it's on the Hobby Hour podcast that I do on this channel or just part of a separate video. I don't know yet because I don't know when it will be and how much detail I have, but I will give that kind of feedback and experience as well. There's been quite a lot of interest in content on the channel, and it's been really nice to see, and I'm definitely going to be continuing to cover it as well. But if you have enjoyed the video and enjoyed the reviews and want to see more, please do comment below, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and if you'd like to support me, please do check out all the links in the video description. You've got the link there to go and pre-order. I don't get any money for that, but it lets them know that you've come via this video, so hopefully they send me more early review things. Again, thank you, Cubicle7. But if you don't want to do any of that stuff, as I say, just subscribe to the channel. But thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll catch you soon.